For most practical applications involving manual processes, you will use conventional oxyacetylene gas welding equipment. Let us review a typical oxyacetylene gas welding set. The welding gases, namely oxygen and acetylene, are stored in a pressurized state within gas cylinders, also called gas bottles. Oxygen is contained in a black cylinder and acetylene in a maroon cylinder. Pressure within the cylinders is too high for practical application. Therefore, each cylinder must be fitted with a pressure regulator. Pressure regulators are connected to a discharge valve, also called a delivery valve, situated at the top of the cylinder. Most regulators are equipped with two pressure gauges, one gauge situated closest to the discharge valve, and this is known as the cylinder gauge. This gauge indicates the pressure within the cylinder. The other gauge, known as the working gauge, registers the pressure within the hoses and the torch. Regulators designed for use with the oxygen cylinder will bear the word oxygen on their gauge faces. Regulators designed for use with acetylene will bear the word acetylene on their gauge faces. As an aid to avoid the accidental fitting of an incorrect regulator, you will notice that the connecting nut of the acetylene regulator has a left-hand thread, identified by the groove. A feature of all welding gas regulators is a pressure adjusting screw. Manufacturers of regulators may employ different designs, but essentially the pressure adjusting screw is used to increase or decrease the working pressure. When an adjusting screw is turned fully out, that is, anti-clockwise until the screw feels loose, the working pressure is reduced to 0. Turning the screw clockwise, or in, causes an increase in the working pressure. A feature of this particular regulator is a stop valve. This valve is used to effect rapid closure of the gas supply to the torch when the need arises. In accordance with international safety practices, approved flashback arresters must be installed on all gas welding apparatus. A flashback arrestor must be connected to the outlet connection of each regulator. Note that these devices are color-coded: blue for oxygen and red for acetylene. The arrow on the label indicates the direction of gas flow and must be fitted accordingly. Gas from each cylinder is routed through an approved welding hose. Note that welding hoses are also color-coded. To comply with international safety standards, flashback arresters must also be fitted at the torch end of each hose. The final component in the welding set is the welding torch. There are two types of welding torch commonly in use, namely, a balanced pressure type and an injector type. Two torch valves situated in the torch handle are used to control the flow of gases through the torch. Once again, note that color coding is used to identify the gas type that each valve controls. Hose connections, both to regulators and to torches, may be either quick coupler designed or standard threaded coupling type. Due to the design of the connectors on quick coupling devices or the threaded connectors on standard couplings, it is practically impossible to make an incorrect connection. Finally, we need consider the types of nozzles used in brazing operations. As a rule, for most brazing and braze welding work, you may use any standard single orifice type welding nozzle that is designed to fit into your particular torch. Generally speaking, for brazing, you need a wide flame because the heat must be distributed over quite a broad area. Therefore, a fairly large nozzle is best suited. Here we have an example of a specially manufactured brazing nozzle for light-duty operations. The small orifices provide a broad yet gentle spread of flame and heat onto the work surfaces. For braze welding, however, a more concentrated flame is necessary, and a single-holed nozzle is generally more suitable. It must be noted that the changing of nozzle sizes on an injector-type torch requires that the whole mixer unit be replaced. Always check the manufacturer's instructions regarding the changing of nozzles.